Hi everyone, my name is Pam Irwin and I am the instructor for the EDL 851 Supervision and Evaluation course that you are signed up to take this semester. I just want to take a few minutes and talk through the syllabus with you so that, and some of the expectations of the course and how the course is set up so you are set to get started next week. Since you found the video, you have obviously been to the Blackboard site and seen the announcement, and you've made it to the Google Plus community. So welcome to EDL 851. The announcement that you're seeing on this page has some links that take you to the Google Shell or the Google Class site, as well as a link to the Google Plus community. I will tell you that over in Blackboard on the left, you'll see a link to the Google Shell, which is the same as the class site, and then also the Google Plus community. For some reason, this link doesn't always work. So I would either bookmark that link or use this link that's actually in the announcements. That one seems to work all the time, while this other one, this week I've been updating it almost daily and it just doesn't seem to stick for some reason. When you click on the class site link, it takes you to this page. And one of the links on this page, when you get here, there is at the top, there's the calendar, modules, and the syllabus. I want to spend a little time going through the syllabus first. The syllabus is 40 pages, but don't become alarmed with that. The first 24 or so pages are a variety of different levels of standards, from the PSEL standards and the ISTE standards to the ISLIC leadership standards. The PSEL and the ISTE standards are two sets of standards that you will need to pay attention to, because those are standards that you are expected to reference throughout the course. On page 24 is where it talks about some of the expectations for this class. So I want to just spend some time going through that. This section here, instructor expectations, they're pretty straightforward, but I do want to spend a few minutes talking about them. I want you to, so as you think about working through this class, it's important that you adhere to the directions of each assignment. If there's something that you need to do differently, whether it's a website that you want to use or a tool that you want to use differently than what's described in the assignment, just check with me first before you do that. There's some guidelines that we want to follow with that information. Get permission before you deviate from directions. Only use free browser-based digital tools. That is one of the criteria when we're having you create some things, is that you're using tools that everybody would have access to. Manage your time well, and this is really important because with an 8-week class and 12 modules and a case study, it goes really quickly. So if you get behind, it becomes very difficult sometimes to keep up. Each module is worth 50 points. Feedback may or may not be given if the assignment maxes the points possible. I do try to provide feedback on every single assignment, so you'll look for that. And I don't post the feedback in the Google Plus community. I post the feedback in Blackboard. So when you are looking at your assignments and the grades, in Blackboard is where I actually post the feedback. I won't put it on Google Plus community. The modules, when you have readings that you're required to read, or a blog or anything like that, you are expected to include a quote from the readings. And I need to be able to tell that you read the information. That's really the key to this. If it's not a direct quote, it can be a reference to an article. I've read all the articles, so I know whether you're referencing them correctly or not. So just make sure that you add that to each one of the modules. Each module is due by 9 p.m. on the date they are found on the calendar, and I'll show you in the calendar in a minute. We'll have 10 points deducted for being late. The greatest penalty deduction is for 1 to 6 days, is 10 points. Unless you contact me and we work something different out. And also then on the 7th day, then no points will be awarded if it's over a week overdue. We'll have points deducted for failure to properly embed 2 standards. And this is where I was mentioning the PSEL and the ISTE standards that are listed in the syllabus. You need to reference one of each of those in each post that you make, unless noted in the module that you don't need to. And there are a couple that you don't need to, so pay attention to that. We'll have points deducted for not following directions unless you contact me prior to your submission. And we'll have points deducted for a week submission. Remember, this is a graduate level course, so your submissions are expected to be graduate level. So in other words, you start with 50 points for each module, and it's your job to keep that 50 points. The case study at the end is worth 130 points and has its own grading rubric and criteria that is outlined in the syllabus. In the syllabus, you'll see there are each of the modules are outlined in the syllabus, and you can also find the modules by clicking on this module button at the top of the class site, and then down at the bottom is a menu that includes directions for each one of the modules. You'll see at the bottom where the links are that you can click to each one of the modules to see the assignments, as well as I mentioned, seeing those in the syllabus. So you can access the information for each module in either location. The other thing that's important on the site is the calendar. The way I have set up the calendar is to have something due every week on Thursday and Sunday. So your first assignment is due next week, Thursday on June 8th, with the next assignment due on the 11th, and that Sunday-Thursday rotation starts throughout the summer. You'll see that the case study is due on July 26th. This is actually the last week of the course, and I have to have everything submitted for grades on the 31st, and with the amount of time it takes to grade the case studies, it's important that we adhere to that you adhere to that deadline on July 26th, so it gives me enough time to get them all graded and provide appropriate feedback and be able to submit the grades on time. Over on the left, you'll see links to the Google Plus community, as well as my bio over on the left, and you'll see when you click on my name, you'll see my email address for Fort Hays. And if you need to speak with me, please email me, and then we can set up a time to visit, and I'll give you my phone number, or you can give me yours, and we can chat about assignments if you're having a question, or you just want to talk through something, or a Google Hangout, whatever's easiest for you to communicate with me. Over on the left, you'll see a link to the Google Plus community, and when you click on that community, you'll see over on the left side the list of the different modules, as well as an announcements page. The announcements page is where you will see, I'll try and post something every week. Sometimes I post information from kind of a summary of what I've seen in the post throughout the week that everybody has posted. Sometimes I might pose a question about some things that people have said. You don't have to respond to those, but this is a good way sometimes to continue the conversation about whatever the assignment was. So you'll see that on the announcements page. Also, when I give feedback, I don't give feedback on the actual module in Google Plus Community. I give your feedback in Blackboard when I put the assignments in, when I put the scores in for each assignment. Sometimes in the feedback, I might pose a question to you about something that you posted in your response. You don't feel obligated to respond to me to that for that question. Most of the time, my question is more about just keeping you thinking a little bit deeper about either something you posted or a question that I posed in the assignment. So you'll be able to tell the difference between something that I want a response to or something that is more of a philosophical kind of question that I just want to keep you thinking. So don't feel obligated to respond to those if I post something in Blackboard to keep you thinking. Okay, I think that's it. It's important that with this video, clearly you have made it to the Google Plus community. So I encourage you to get started as soon as you can. If you have any questions, make sure that you email me sooner rather than later so we can get things taken care of. And if you're having issues or time constraints or there's some problems, please contact me as soon as possible so that we can come up with a solution that works for both of us. I think that's it. I am looking forward to another successful semester of talking about supervision and evaluation. Again, as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please contact me and we can either chat through email or we can have a Google Hangout or even just a phone call. So I'm here to help and to help you get through this course successfully. Good luck. Have a great summer.